The season of Pamela begins! Everyone can finally tune in for the real hard-hitting Baywatch stories. Baywatching is gonna shoot up to millions of views now, so watch out, world! This episode is a huge milestone for the series, not only because it's Pamela's intro, but because it's also our two-parter farewell to Eddie and Shawnee. But hey, if they're gonna go out, they go out with a bang, because this episode is outstandingly absurd. Between season shuffle casualties, go! Shockingly, Baywatch decided to get rid of the old people and focus on sex appeal. Lifeguard Old Man is no longer a main character, so instead he's just gonna randomly show up when you don't expect him, nor did you want him. Harvey and Captain Thorpe are missing and presumed dead. So apparently, and this is baffling to me, the big draw of the show at the time was Shawnee and Eddie's romance. I'm really worried for early 90s audiences if they thought that was in any way healthy or romantic. But whatever. When Billy Warlock and Erica Liniak decided to leave the show, Baywatch came to the conclusion that they should just replace them with similar characters. And that's how it's gonna go for a while. Xerox copies of Eddie and Shawnee that only get more degraded and sad the further down the line we go. So here's your trivia for you. Pamela Anderson was added as our bag cereal Shawnee. I'll talk more about her and the other new members of the cast as they're introduced, so let's dive in. Things start off crazy right off the bat. This bearded Santa-looking gentleman? Mitch's gold prospecting uncle. I gotta repeat that because it's one of my favorite pieces of Baywatch trivia. Mitch Buchanan has an old-timey gold prospector uncle. Just drink this in, folks. He looks like he stepped out of an Old West saloon. I might not be well versed in gold prospecting, but I'm fairly certain Baywatch thought he was a time traveler. Anyway, he's dead in the cold opening. Whoa, Baywatch, don't blow your fan service load too quickly. We're only 6.5 minutes in. I know this is taking a sharp turn out of nowhere, but Shawnee and Eddie are pissed at each other again. Shawnee is mad because Eddie was chosen to live in Australia for a year in a lifeguard exchange program. This was surely an honor bestowed upon him, and not a sneaky way to send him far away to a country where everything could and probably will kill him. Shawnee, you're being eaten by koalas! Mitch has to jump to action when some jellyfish are spotted nearby. Snowballs! Snowballs in the water! So who will be our replacement Eddie, you ask? Well, it's impossible to find someone who's as much of a butt monkey as Eddie is, but damn do they try. Here's Matt Brody, who, turning this replacement on its head, is the rich kid with disapproving parents. I have dubbed him Eyebrows due to his thick, expressive eyebrows, because I am super creative. While he's not as much of a loser as Eddie, make no mistake, he is an incredible butt munch. Okay, so technically there are two Shawnee replacements, since this one really fits the Shawnee archetype more, but in Baywatch land, there's never too many superfluous characters. This is Summer, who has just moved to the beach with her mother Jackie. Why they thought Jackie was worth adding, I don't know, but she's certainly here. As for Summer, she's meant to be the plucky new kid, I guess, but mostly I spend my time worrying about her health, as she seems constantly on the verge of passing out. It's not as obvious in the beginning, but by the end, boy, Baywatch has never seen such severe burnout. Meanwhile, Mitch is cooking meat! Hope things aren't interrupted by a call about his crazy gold prospecting uncle getting killed.
Mr. Buchanan, your name and number on the last will and testament, identifying you as the sole heir to Alex Buchanan, who drowned several days ago in a river accident.
Mitch was his sole heir? They weren't really that close.
I got a crazy old uncle named Alex who lives up on the American River. Thought he was a 49er prospecting for gold.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thanks anyway. I haven't seen him since I was a kid.
Did he not want to leave anything to his brother or sister, whichever the hell parent he's supposed to be related to? Funeral arrangement party, everyone's invited!
Why don't you guys come along? You don't make a weekend out of it, huh?
Please adopt me before I leave the show! Well, Eddie and Shawnee have done nothing but snipe and undermine each other this entire episode, so naturally we cut to them making out in front of a fireplace. This leads to another argument because Shawnee wants some real commitment from Eddie. Hey, he proposed to you. It's not his fault you forgot. I should probably talk about this now, since it's my last opportunity to do so, and I think it's worth mentioning. I've brought up how creepy and unhealthy their relationship is before, in this very video even, and it's hard not to compare that with the real-life relationship of Billy Warlock and Erica Liniak, which, at least from interviews I've seen, seem to have some jealous parallels on the part of Billy Warlock. But, I gotta be clear here. All I know is that Billy Warlock came off like the jealous type, but I have no idea what their personal life was really like, so I don't want anyone thinking that I'm trying to out Billy Warlock himself as some sort of creep. He just very convincingly plays one on TV. And, even if their relationship was unhealthy, you gotta remember this was 23 years ago, and no one is the same person they were after 2 decades. By all accounts, both actors seem to have moved on to happier and healthier relationships, so whatever the case was, it's water under the bridge by this point. That being said, Eddie is a total creepster. Ooh, and there was no food left in the house. Meanwhile, who should show up on Baywatch Beach but Jed, Summer's mom's abusive ex-boyfriend? But he didn't take into account there'd be a bunch of rookie lifeguard wieners around. Watch your butt, man, or we'll kick you in the cojones. Right, Chad? Skylar? Kimberly? Drat, foiled again! Get fucking ready, folks. Here comes Pamela. Holy schmoly! That's one of the greatest intros you could have ever given her. Hats off to you, Baywatch, you crazy masterminds. Never in a million years would I think, just give her a saxophone and have her playing it by the river for no reason. Perfect! Pamela Anderson is CJ, a river guide who Mitch used to know when she was a lifeguard.
I miss the beach. Should come back to Baywatch.
Yeah, rookie swim starts next week. Requalify, I'll get you a tower.
Well, I guess there's nothing holding me here anymore, is there?
She doesn't really commit to much, does she? That was the world's quickest life turnaround I've ever seen, Baywatch. I love rapids because me, Eddie, love Wawa!
I'll kill you, you son of a bitch!
So Shawnee tells Eddie she thinks she might be pregnant. Don't even tease about the possibility of Eddie contributing to the gene pool. I'm pretty sure that's the opposite of Darwinism. Does this mean I'm gonna be a big brother? Getting back to the plot that really matters, here's where things go nuts. Mitch apparently had a secret hiding place with his gold prospecting uncle. Gold prospector uncle was bragging that he'd found the gold boot, a giant gold nugget in the shape of a boot, and said in his will that Mitch's inheritance would be hidden in that secret place. Keep in mind, this is his estranged nephew he last saw when he was like 12. Gold prospector uncle left a treasure map for Mitch to find that would lead him to his inheritance. Meanwhile, 2 shady gold prospectors are following them in the hopes of stealing the treasure. When Shawnee waits behind to go back to the bed and breakfast, one of said evil gold prospectors emerges from the water like a fish man to kidnap her. Man, oh manity man, I love this friggin' show. And until any evidence comes forth that refutes it, I'm gonna assume that that map was written on human skin. Oh, come on, guys. You can't end part 1 on a kidnapping and then begin part 2 with a reused shot that still has Shawnee in it. Yeah! Well, if they're just gonna shoot at them, what's the point of kidnapping Shawnee?
I'll never give up my crazy prospector uncle's treasure map for her, you sons of bitches!
Good one, Mitch. I'll save you, my dumpling! Ow, a cronhead got stuck up my ass! I love how Eddie had like a minute head start, and Mitch still had to claim this save. A save which, by the way, he caused. Don't worry, Shawnee. Bullets are good for babies.
Now I know why I never married you.
Dad, I got shot in the leg!
Can it, Hopster? We've got treasure to find!
I want to marry you, Shawnee.
Baywatch, how many times must we do this dance? Marriages are built on a strong foundation of guilt trips and baby obligations. Ow, I sat on a sharp rock. Anyway, it turns out Shawnee's not really pregnant, so thank God for small favors, but for whatever insane reason, they go through with their second or possibly first engagement anyway.
You're my silver medal, Eddie.
For whatever convoluted reason they came up with, Mitch and company continue their mad search for treasure and hope that the guy who was supposed to pick up Shawnee radios for help. Sure, there's a couple of yokels trying to shoot you to death, but there's gold in them there hills. These treasure clues are beyond stupid. For example, one of the landmarks they need to find is Wilma's table, and they automatically pull out of their butts that it's Wilma Flintstone and it must be a flat rock. This takes like 10 seconds for them to jump to that oddly specific conclusion. Meanwhile, things have escalated quickly on the Summers' mom's ex-boyfriend front.
Call the police on me, will you? They'll never connect me to this. Whoa, did somebody ask for a rescue? Don't harsh my mellow, bro. I'll throw my money at you.
Enchanté.
Oh, that was pathetic. Now Mitch is being lowered by rope into a crypt. Man, oh man, oh man. I have so many questions. Why is there an underground crypt in the middle of Rapid Country? Who built this and when? How did Prospector Uncle get there? How did he get out? Did he not think this discovery was worth the amount of money he wasted his life prospecting for? I'm confused. Anyway, he finds the gold boot inside a coffin. Grave robbing. Good old-fashioned family fun. What the fuck was that, sound editor? Anyway, they sold it for themselves and left Mitch behind to rot in a crypt forever. Just kidding. It's the evil gold prospectors again. All we need now is the added cliche that the sheriff is in on the whole thing, and whoop, there we go.
Trying to tie my hand.
I can't get it.
Shawnee, you act like we've never been held hostage before.
I want a divorce.
Joke's on you, I shit myself. Dad!
Shut up, Hobie.
My treasure, bitch!
Run.
The raft was heading straight for Devil's Mouth, where no one has ever fallen in and been recovered, so of course, Mitch's plan is to just jump out of the raft and swim for it. Yeah, a current with a 100% fatality rate seems swimmable. And they lost the gold boot along the way.
This is all your fault, Hobie 2. We're gonna starve now.
Please stop chewing on my leg, Dad. Oh, no.
Looks like we still got time for a rookie montage. Skip. Our main characters make the cut. Fuck everyone else. Try again next year. Oh, and Shawnee and Eddie get married and go to Australia together. Shawnee, I'm so sorry. You were so young. You had your whole life ahead of you. Okay, so this is probably the only time you're gonna see me on camera during a Baywatching episode, but I felt like it warranted saying this in person. Eddie, I'm gonna miss you. Truly, you were the greatest gift Baywatch could have given us. You were the best and worst of us. So, Godspeed, you sad little troll. Godspeed, and may flights of Shawnees sing thee to thy rest.
Next time on Baywatch.
Mitch is upset to find their newest lieutenant is an old girlfriend of his. Meanwhile, Eyebrows and Summer take on a surf gang.
Surf's up.